The signal came from the edge of a faraway star system. It was weak, but full of urgency. The Council of Earth studied it for days, trying to understand its origin. Captain Jason Hall watched the screens, his eyes sharp and focused. He had led many missions, but nothing like this. Lila Taylor, his co-pilot, stood beside him, tracing the strange patterns of the signal on the holographic map. The message clearly called for help. It was not from any known planet. Lieutenant Ryan Cole examined the fleet reports, noting the distances and the speed they would need to reach the system. They had only hours to prepare. Jason gathered the command team. "We do not know what we will face," he said. "The call for help might be a mistake, but we have no choice. We go." The team moved quickly. Ships were fueled, weapons checked, and navigation systems calibrated for a jump into the unknown. Civilians watched from the observation decks, their faces filled with hope and fear. The jump through hyperspace was smooth. Jason felt the vibration in the hull, a reminder of the power beneath them. Lila kept the course steady. Ryan reviewed the mission plan one last time. Every crew member knew their role. They could not afford mistakes. When the jump ended, the fleet emerged at the star system. It was larger than expected, with planets orbiting a bright sun. The surface of the main planet glowed with strange structures and energy patterns. The human eyes had never seen anything like it. As they approached, scouts reported moving units below. Jason frowned. They were not hostile yet, but their size and formation suggested they were ready for war. Leia adjusted the shields and weapon systems, keeping the fleet in defensive formation. Ryan contacted the surface. "This is Lieutenant Ryan Cole," he said. "We are responding to your call for help. We come in peace and ready to assist." Silence followed. Then the largest figure appeared on the main tower. It was human in form. A woman, tall and strong, with a presence that commanded attention. Queen Claire, Jason realized, led this civilization. Beside her, men in armor and weapons moved in formation. They watched the fleet with caution and suspicion. Jason signaled his intent. "We mean no harm. We only wish to help against the threat you face." Queen Claire raised her hand. The troops held their positions. She spoke in a clear voice that echoed through the communication channels. "Your ships are powerful," she said. Explain why you are here," Jason replied. "We received your distress call by mistake, but we have come. Our mission is to help." The Queen studied the fleet, her eyes sharp. She had never seen such force concentrated in one place. She nodded slowly, signaling for her people to hold. Scouts below reported curiosity among the civilian population. Children peered from behind towers. Adults stared in awe. The humans had arrived with a speed and confidence that made the locals wonder if they were facing gods. Jason landed a small ship on the main platform. Lila and Ryan followed. The Queen approached, her gaze unwavering. She asked, "What can you do against the enemy that approaches?" Jason smiled slightly. "We fight," he said. "We adapt, we survive, and we will not let them win." The Queen considered his words, then nodded. A fragile alliance was born that day. Humans and her people would stand together. The fleet remained in orbit, ready. Below, the strange city waited. And far beyond, a deadly enemy moved closer, unaware of the force that now prepared to meet it. Humans landed on the platform, and Queen Claire led them through the city. The structures were tall and smooth, glowing with energy. Civilians watched from windows and streets, whispering about the strange newcomers. Jason, Lila, and Ryan kept their weapons ready, but lowered them to show respect. The Queen spoke quietly to her council, planning their defense. Humans followed closely, observing every detail. Suddenly, alarms rang throughout the city. A group of hostile forces had appeared at the edge of the city, moving with deadly speed. Queen Claire shouted orders, but her troops were hesitant. Jason turned to Lila and Ryan. "We cannot wait. We strike first." The humans moved with precision. They split into squads, each taking a strategic position. Energy blasts from human weapons lit up the streets. The enemy was shocked. They expected local forces to fight, not humans. Jason led a small team to intercept a heavily armed squad. Ryan covered the flank while Lila provided aerial support with a hover vehicle. Civilians ran to safety as the battle unfolded. The humans fought with tactics and speed the locals had never seen. Human shields absorbed blasts. Human weapons tore through enemy armor. Queen Claire watched, astonished. She realized these humans were not ordinary soldiers. They were unstoppable. The enemy tried to regroup, but human coordination was precise. Ryan leaped from cover to cover, taking out key enemy leaders. Lila swooped in from above, disabling vehicles and blocking reinforcements. Jason moved like a shadow, striking with efficiency. The enemy forces began to fall back, confused and afraid. Civilians cheered quietly from behind barriers. After the first wave, Queen Claire approached Jason. "You are stronger than we imagined," she said. "We could not have held without you." Jason nodded. "We are here to help. Tell us what the real threat is." She explained that a brutal marauder fleet would arrive soon to take over their system. They were numerous and relentless. Humans listened carefully. They would need a plan. Ryan checked the maps. "We hit their scouts first," he said. "We weaken them before they reach the planet." Lila added, "We need to control the skies. Human drones can patrol and block any advance." Queen Claire agreed. Humans began training local forces quickly, teaching them new strategies and formations. The locals adapted fast under human guidance. Civilians helped prepare defenses, moving supplies and reinforcing structures. As they worked, another wave of enemies appeared, this time larger and more organized. Human and local forces fought together, covering each other. Humans led attacks, using innovative tactics to outsmart the enemy. Jason commanded from the center, calling out orders. Ryan pushed forward, neutralizing enemy strongpoints. Lila circled above, striking from unexpected angles. Queen Claire directed her troops to follow human signals. The battle ended with the enemy retreating, their morale shattered. Civilians and troops celebrated cautiously, knowing the real fight was coming. Jason looked at Queen Claire. "The first clash is done," he said. "The next one will be harder." She nodded. Together, humans and her people would face the threat. The alliance was tested, but it held strong. Both sides knew they had to fight or be destroyed. The city stood ready, waiting for the marauder fleet that would soon darken the skies. The calm did not last long. Scouts reported a massive fleet approaching the system. The marauder ships were unlike anything humans or the Queen's forces had seen. They moved in tight formations, armed with devastating weapons. Jason, Lila, and Ryan gathered with Queen Claire in the command hall. "We face a fleet," Jason said. "A strong one. We must strike smart and fast." The Queen nodded. "All forces will stand together." Humans and locals began to prepare. Drones flew to scout enemy positions. Troops trained rapidly under human guidance. Civilians reinforced barricades and shelters. Everyone knew the coming battle would decide their survival. From orbit, Lila spotted the marauder cruisers. They glimmered with energy weapons and fast engines. She adjusted the fleet formation, assigning human ships to key positions. Jason monitored the communication channels, coordinating attacks. Ryan led a ground squad to secure strategic points on the planet. The marauders did not know humans had arrived. They expected an easy conquest. Jason smirked. They will learn the hard way. As the marauders entered the system, the first skirmishes began. Human pilots weaved through enemy fire, dodging missiles and blasting cruisers. Lila directed drones to disable weapons platforms. Ryan's team set traps and blocked enemy ground units. Civilians cheered from shelters as humans and locals fought side by side. Queen Claire watched in awe. Humans adapted quickly, thinking 2 steps ahead, turning enemy strength into weakness. Enemy commanders began to panic. Their plans failed against the unexpected tactics of humanity. Jason led a strike team onto a marauder ship. They moved silently, disabling control systems and taking down key targets. Ryan coordinated explosions to block enemy reinforcements. Lila attacked from above, hitting enemy engines and making their ships slow and clumsy. The marauder fleet, once confident, faltered. Queen Claire sent her forces to follow human signals, trusting their strategy. The alliance was working better than anyone expected. Civilians brought supplies, helped injured, and strengthened defenses. Every person contributed to survival. As the battle raged, humans and locals began pushing marauders back. Jason saw enemy morale collapsing. Ryan captured enemy weapons to use against them. Lila intercepted communication signals, confusing the enemy with fake orders. Queen Claire saw her people fighting with courage and skill, inspired by humans. The marauder ships began retreating, unable to withstand the combined force. Humans had turned the tide in a battle that seemed impossible. The Queen approached Jason after the fight. "We underestimated you," she said. "Your people are more than fighters. They are warriors who think and adapt." Jason nodded. "We are here to protect, not conquer. We will face whatever comes next together." Ryan checked the defenses. "The marauder threat is weakened," he said, "but they will return." Lila surveyed the sky. "Our advantage is growing," she added. The Queen and humans stood together, ready for the next wave. The system had survived the first test, and humanity had proven itself unstoppable. The alliance was no longer fragile. It was strong, and nothing could easily break it. The marauder fleet regrouped on the edge of the system, preparing for a full attack. Jason called a meeting with Queen Claire, Lila, and Ryan. "We strike first," he said. "We hit their main ships before they can coordinate." The Queen nodded. "Humans will lead the assault." Everyone prepared. Humans upgraded local weapons, trained soldiers, and coordinated every move. Drones patrolled the skies, scanning for enemy movement. Civilians moved supplies and reinforced defenses. There was no hesitation. The attack had to succeed. Jason led a strike team on a small, fast ship toward the marauder flagship. Lila provided aerial support, guiding drones to disrupt enemy sensors. Ryan and his squad moved through ground units on the main planet, targeting enemy weapon caches and supply lines. The marauders expected slow defense, did not expect humans to attack boldly and precisely. Explosions rocked enemy ships as humans hit weak points. Ships slowed and crashed, their crews in confusion. The battle raged both in space and on the planet. Human tactics were unlike anything the marauders had faced. Jason disabled communications on the flagship, while Ryan destroyed the main energy source of enemy ground units. Lila intercepted enemy fighters and missiles, turning their attacks back on them. Queen Claire watched as humans led her people through every dangerous moment. The courage and strategy of humans inspired her forces. Civilians helped evacuate the injured and continued to support soldiers with supplies. The enemy faltered as humans dismantled their command. They did not know how to respond to such speed and coordination. Jason and his team entered the enemy flagship. They fought hand-to-hand with enemy commanders, moving fast and precise. Ryan covered the escape routes, preventing reinforcements. Lila disabled the engines, leaving the ship vulnerable. Explosions shook the vessel. The marauder leaders realized they had underestimated humanity. Panic spread. Side human drones and local units attacked remaining ships. Every move humans made cut enemy strength in half. Queen Claire directed her people to follow human signals, trusting them completely. The alliance worked perfectly. At the climax, Jason struck the last critical point on the flagship. The ship broke apart, debris scattering across space. Ryan and Lila regrouped with him, and together they coordinated final attacks on retreating ships. The marauder fleet began fleeing, defeated and disorganized. Civilians and soldiers cheered cautiously, knowing the danger was gone for now. Queen Claire approached Jason. "Your people are incredible," she said. "They are fearless and smart. Humans do not stop." Jason nodded. "We fight because we must. We adapt because we survive." She smiled, realizing humanity was not just help. They were a force that could protect entire worlds. The planet was safe for now. Humans in Queen Claire's forces repaired defenses and prepared for the future. Lila and Ryan stood looking at the stars, knowing the war had turned in their favor. They had taken the fight to the enemy and proved that humans were unstoppable. The alliance had grown stronger, and the enemy had learned a harsh lesson about underestimating humanity. The system was ready for any challenge that came next. The marauder fleet was scattered and defeated. Jason, Lila, and Ryan stood on the platform, watching the last enemy ships flee the system. Queen Claire approached, her expression serious but respectful. "Your people have saved us," she said. "Without you, we would have fallen." Jason nodded. "We only did what was necessary." The enemy miscalculated when they thought they could conquer the system. Civilians came forward, cheering for the humans and their own soldiers. The city had survived, and its people were alive. Humans helped repair structures, train soldiers, and share strategies for defense. Queen Claire realized humanity was not just strong in combat, but they inspired others to fight with courage. She spoke to her council. We must learn from them. Their way of fighting is unlike anything we know. They think, adapt, and never quit. Jason, Lila, and Ryan reviewed the system defenses. Satellites, drones, and ground units were now coordinated and prepared for any threat. Ryan spoke to the local soldiers. Your courage saved lives, he said. Humans fight with strength, but everyone contributes. The locals understood that humans were different, unstoppable in a way that changed everything. Lila monitored the skies. The system is clear, she said. There's no more marauder ships in range. Jason turned to Queen Claire. We are ready to leave, he said. She shook her head. Stay as allies, she said. Your people have proven their value. We can face the future together, Jason agreed. Humans would remain in the system as protectors and trainers. Their presence alone would deter future threats. News of the battle spread across nearby systems. Humanity's reputation grew. Ships, soldiers, and civilians spoke of human bravery and strategy. Marauder survivors would carry the story of defeat to the edge of the galaxy. Jason, Lila, and Ryan reflected on their journey. What started as a mistaken call for help had turned into a legendary victory. They had formed bonds, trained allies, and defeated an enemy no one expected they could. Queen Claire recognized the human strength and welcomed them as equals in strategy and leadership. Civilians and soldiers held a ceremony to honor the humans. Banners waved and voices cheered. The humans did not seek praise, but they accepted respect. Jason looked at Lila and Ryan. We did it, he said. Together, we changed this system's future. They smiled, knowing they had proven something greater than their own skill. They had shown what humans could do. As night fell over the city, lights from buildings and streets glowed with energy. Humans and locals stood together, sharing stories and preparing for the future. The system was no longer a victim of invaders. It was strong, protected by humans and their new allies. Jason, Lila, and Ryan looked to the stars. Beyond them lay more threats, more challenges. But humanity had shown it would never stop. It would fight, adapt, and survive. The legend of humans in this system had begun, and it would not be forgotten.